Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thanks a lot for joining me today. I had this idea for a new series, and I was thinking about doing a shoegaze poster every Saturday. So I'm going to do maybe just a few right here and just kind of see how everything goes, because I know there are a lot of shoegaze fans that are out there watching my videos. So I see you out there. I know I haven't forgotten about you, and I actually had this idea to do a shoegaze, like a shoegaze related video having to do with, posters, so like some type of art, maybe an album cover redesign or something like that, and post that every Saturday. So last Friday night, I went to possibly my favorite concert that I've been to this year, and that was Slow Crush. And so I grabbed this shirt right here. I thought it was amazing. Instantly knew the Nirvana connection. And I saw that and I said, that's the one. And I also got this sticker right here. That was from their latest album. And then definitely the best thing that I got all night was the set list from the lead singer. So that was pretty awesome. It's actually made out to my daughter because she wasn't able to go. She's 14. It was an 18 and over show. So I went ahead and just got that for her. But amazing show. The two opening bands that were there were two local bands. One of them was Fossil Creek and the other one was Verser. They were both fantastic. And then Slow Crush, when they came out with their stage presence, it was the best I've ever seen in a small venue. Their show was just incredible. So if you haven't seen Slow Crush, highly recommend that you see them, because that was probably the best show that I've been to. Definitely the best show I've been to in a small venue this year. As far as like a large venue, I saw Tool back in March. It's kind of hard to compete with that, but absolutely incredible show. Anyway, so what I was thinking about doing here was, they didn't have any, like, they had a concert poster, like for the actual concert and everything, but they weren't for sale. So I'd like to make something possibly to put on the wall back there. I'd actually like to do some posters back there in between those speakers. So this is probably going to be one of them that goes up. Anyway, so I just wanted to make something real quick. So let's go over to Illustrator and let's get started. All right, so we're here in Illustrator, and before I actually had the idea to make this video, I did get about this far into making this poster, and then I thought, wait a minute, why don't I just make a video out of this? So basically, I stopped right there, and so now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use this as a starting point. Probably not going to do it the exact same way. I'm probably going to find a different font or something like that. But this is going to be akin to like those old vintage concert posters that you see from the 60s and 70s. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started here. Let's go ahead and put down our structure. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to work. I'm going to speed up this portion of the video. And if there's anything that I feel like I need to come in and say, like any kind of techniques or anything like that, then I'll come over and do that. But from this point, I'm just going to work. So this image that you're seeing right here, that was actually an image that I took while I was at the show. So it is kind of cheating a little bit, because the whole point of the concert poster is that it actually advertises the concert. But you know what? I don't really care. So I really thought this image was really cool, and especially love her bass guitar right here was just amazing. And this is one of the very few pictures that I took where you can actually see, or quote see, all four members of the band. All right, so I have this pasted into Photoshop. However, right now everything is all one unit, but I need to separate these because there's going to be different levels of effects that I apply. So I'm actually going to go ahead and do that now. I'll speed this up. All right, so now that we have all of these separated out, I'm gonna go ahead and delete the master one here. That's just leaves everything behind. The only thing here is I need to go in, and now I'm gonna switch that to a fill, and then go in here, and we'll put that as the background. And we're gonna apply some, but we're gonna apply it like a gradient layer there. Okay, so so we have a lot of work to do. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is do my gradient overlay, and I've already got the colors set up right here. So basically, they're colors you know, that were on the stage and everything that were blue and purple. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna change this pink right here because I was using that from a different poster design, and I'm gonna switch that out to blue right here, and we'll do like this pink right here, just kind of leading into the purple. And in fact, I may actually go back and change that to pink again, because I'd like it to start fading in a little bit early, like, you know, kind of around where the middle part of the poster is. Okay, so I have all of these layers separated right here. Basically, I've got Slow Crush here at the top. Yeah, it's the headline, and then this place right here is going to be for the image, and then all of this right here is pretty much relatively the same size. So whatever effects we apply here, it'll be no problem. But I did separate this one here down here at the bottom, the tickets one, because it's a little bit smaller than the rest of that type. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the image that I'm going to be using. All right, I took a lot of pictures for the show, but this is the one that I will be using for this one. So I'm going to place this over the photo holder, and now I'm going to mask it inside of that photo holder layer, and we just need to enlarge the image just a little bit, not too much. And we'll just kind of bring it to about right here. That way you can kind of see all four members of the band. There's, like I said earlier, their stage presence was incredible. However, it was really hard to see hard to get a picture of all of the members of the band, especially with my camera, you know, on my phone. Right, like, it's not like I had a professional camera or anything, but you know, there was a lot of fog and smoke and everything, and we're gonna be introducing elements of that into the poster itself. So I actually have some paper overlays that we're going to be doing, so I'm going to go grab those. All right, so I have all of the layers actually dragged into here now, but they're all turned off. And the reason why is because I want to show you one by one what each one of these layers are doing. So I've got a paper layer. It's a little bit more of like a distress layer. So this is actually sitting on top of all of the artwork, as far as like the type and everything like that. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to just cut out this portion of it and not have those specs show right there. However, I think it actually looks pretty cool. The only thing that I might do is go through and just kind of, you know, take away any of the large specs, like maybe this right here or something like that, and do this one. I think I'll leave the other ones. The other ones are totally fine. And the fact that they're sitting on top of the text right here, I think that it adds a little bit more to it. I just don't want it sitting on top of the image. So that's that one. Then I've got another paper overlay that I've got set to divide right here. So this is going to give it more of like a paper texture, like you can actually see the texture, and that's also applied over everything. And then finally, I've got a layer of grain with a little vignette that's going on right here. So as far as the colors go, I think that I might go in and brighten up this purple a little bit, because I think that we're starting to get into the territory where, you know, we've got that black text right there, and I don't want the black text to get too difficult to read. Okay, so. And then the very last thing that we're going to do, it's very subtle, but it does make a difference, is I've got a color fill that that's here at the bottom, that's underneath all of the layers. And I'm just going to turn that on, and that way it's going to pick up the rest of those effects that are in there. Those vintage effects. I'm sorry, I can't talk today. So now what we need to do, so we've got all of the effects in place. Now what we need to do is we need to bleed the artwork into the paper. And this is actually pretty easy to do. So I will show you how to do this, and we're going to do this individually, layer by layer. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the headline, Slow Crush, go up here to filter, go to Gaussian blur. And for this one, this is a large piece of text, so we're probably going to do like a 5. So like a level 5 right here. And then I'm going to collapse this. I'm going to double click on this, and we're going to go to the blend if option right here. So basically what this is going to do is this is going to help blend the text into the layers below it to make it look like it's ink that's actually printed onto the paper itself. Rather than just clean text sitting on top of, sitting on top of it. So already it's looking, a lot better. So we're just gonna blend that into the background. As you can see here, we've got a little bit too much sharpness happening with this layer. I believe it's this layer. Let me make sure. Yeah, we got a little bit too much sharpness. So I'm gonna go in here and add a Gaussian blur to this, maybe like no more than a 2, but probably like a 1 or a 1.5. Yeah, 1.5 is looking good. So that way we got a little bit of a blur happening there. So now I'm going to go to the bottom info, do the same thing with the Gaussian blur, but it's probably not going to be a 5. We'll probably do like a 3 or something like that, or maybe a 2, just enough to where it's bleeding into the paper. And we'll just do the same thing. Go to the blend if right here. And this is going to take a little bit more because that background is a little bit darker. So probably down to like a 50 or so. So now that's actually looking like it's bleeding into the paper. And we'll do the same thing here for the tickets. Wait, we got to do our Gaussian blur first. So for something like that, probably a 1.5. Collapse this up just to save some space. And if you're on a Mac, to separate these arrows, sorry, I should have said it earlier, hold down your Option key and then grab that little arrow right there. And on a Windows, I think that it's the Alt key. If it's not, I'm terribly sorry. All right, so we'll drag that down to a 30. All right, so here is the Slow Crush poster. Oh, you know what? Actually, I always forget to do this. Let me go into our photo placeholder. So for the photo holder, we want to do the same thing. We want to make sure, because we've got very clean lines going on here for the photo holder. So we need to go to blur, Gaussian blur, and usually I do probably like a 5, so that image is bleeding very nicely into the paper background. And then I think that I'll probably do another Gaussian blur on the paper itself. Definitely not a 5. We'll go down to maybe like a 2 or maybe a 3. I think 1.5 looks good. Okay. And then this is kind of like an optional step, but you can also blend your gradient as well into the paper layers below to kind of make it look a little bit more aged if you want to. But just be really careful when you're doing stuff like this, because you don't want to you don't want to take away the impact of those colors that are there. So there we go. Here is our Slow Crush poster. I may get in here and just kind of play around with the lighting a little bit, see if I can actually bring up the drummer. But for the most part, I'm gonna call this done. I think it's really cool, and the blue and the purple and everything, it ties in perfectly with their show. They had the fog going on and the blue and purple lights. It was just a magnificent show. I can't really say enough good things about them, and plus they were super nice. So anyway, so there's my Slow Crush poster. All right, well, thanks a lot for watching me make that Slow Crush poster. That was an awesome concert. The next time they come anywhere near Nashville, I'm definitely going to go see them again. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe, and also click the bell for notifications to be notified of all future content. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.